live everywhere.
So don't say anything I'll regret,
Just...
like I have the best middle son ever named Dave.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be upset.
It's pretty amazing. You have the best oldest son ever, and the best middle son ever, and the best youngest son ever.
Yes, and the best husband ever.
Daughter in general.
Best daughter ever.
Best daughter ever.
Hello, everyone.
All right. Hello, guys.
Wait, did you say best husband?
I did.
What?
I am Tara from Living on a Dime to Grow Rich because we are growing rich, living on a dime.
We want you to do that also.
And one of the best ways you can do that is by saving money on your grocery bill and stop eating out, people. Oh no, I felt it come back for a moment there.
You're having a restoration. I almost said a resurrection.
Well, that
might be pretty close.
I am the author of the Dining on a Dime cookbook where you can eat better, spend less. And today we're making this too. Okay, hold on. First we're making page 244 slow cooked roast.
Really?
Yum.
Then I'm gonna make for you on page 239 fajitas. Right there, except these are beef and not chicken. So I am making all of these today and dining on a dime. Okay, so now 25% off everything in our store, including our meal plan notepads that hang on the refrigerator. If you didn't want the full planner, you can get the notepads, the to-do, and the meal plan.
Yay.
25% off our Valentine's Day sale ends on Wednesday. Right? Is that what did we figure out?
Wednesday.
Okay.
Mike talked her into holding it a little longer in case anybody on Wednesday has forgotten.
There you go. Okay, so we're making
Slow cooked roast.
plan ahead pot roast dinners. Okay, so how to plan ahead pot roast dinners. I don't know how to say that, but anyway, with the pot roast in the oven recipe. There, those are really awkward keywords this time.
We shouldn't be saying it like that.
Well, you put them on there. I gotta say what they are.
You don't have to say them all at once.
Oh. Okay. So, here's what we're making. We are taking and making my pot roast. What? What happened? What did I do now?
There's just roast juice on the notepad.
Oh, did I just dump roast juice all over? Oh, brother figures. Okay. So, I'm making a pot roast. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Made for TV.
What? That was fast. That was so fast I didn't even see you do it.
You didn't even see me do it. Okay, so here's what happened. Forgot one pan that I need. So, I made my slow cook roast in Dining on a Dime, page 244, 25% off right now. In here. Now, I make mine slightly different than the recipe because I'm gluten-free. I don't use, and dairy-free, I don't use the cream of mushroom soup. Excuse me. Thank you. What I do is I sprinkle seasoned salt on here, and then I, oh man, this isn't quite done well enough, but that's okay. I sprinkle seasoned salt on here, and then put some water in. I put extra water in today because I'm making broth for French dips. Now, the 4 meals that we're getting out of the roast. This is a 3-pound roast, okay? Right here's half of it. This is half of it. Okay? Here's a quarter of it. Right here's a quarter of it. Okay? So, I am making on Monday roast, which you can't see underneath here, with potatoes. Right there's potatoes. And carrots. And right here's carrots, okay? And onions. And then I'm adding these brown and served dinner rolls that I got. Oh, they didn't have the tag. I got these for $1 on clearance at Thanksgiving. Okay, so I'm gonna stick these on my baking tray, and this will take 7 minutes to brown these up. Don't let me forget they're in here. And then what I'm gonna do is, so tonight we're gonna have roast with potatoes and carrots. Then Tuesday night we're gonna have French dip with grapes and broccoli. Fajitas on Wednesday, and Thursday we're gonna have beef and noodles, okay? So let me show you tonight's meal, and no idea. Tonight's meal, it's going to be roast and potatoes and carrots, okay? So let me get my thing here. And then if you want gravy, you can do gravy. However you want to do it, it doesn't matter. Then we got potatoes right here. Now, I forgot to put my roast in for the show. Oh, don't you guys love me?
I thought this was the roast for the show.
It is, but I forgot to put it in, and it didn't get put in until 11 o'clock. So technically, I should cook this really for about 2 to 3 more hours. But we're just gonna go with it. It's fully cooked. I just like my roast really, really tender so that it's falling apart, and you shouldn't even have to cut it with a knife. I consider that a failure if you have to use a knife to cut your roast. But, you know, we all have our days. So, let me set this to the side. Ugh. All right, so then, here we go. So we're gonna cut up our roast, and then we're gonna have our buns for day one. Now, there's the roast, and just so you guys can see what it looks like, we'll just pretend this bun is done, okay? And then put some butter on our potatoes. So, then I usually add like a clementine or some grapes or something like that. So, we've got dinner tonight. It was $8 for the roast, but I'm getting 4 more dinners. So this plate of food here is about $1.75 to $1 right there, okay? For dinner number 1. All 4 dinners for the complete meal is gonna be $15 for 4 nights. Because, oh shoot, I had Jack take out the trash. I forgot to grab it. Because my roast was $2.99 a pound, and it was a 3-pound roast, okay? So it was just a little bit over, well, it was like 2.8 pounds. Yes.
That looks really good. Can I have some?
This looks really good. You think you need it?
Yes, I want it.
There you go.
Thank you, Mommy.
You're welcome, Mr. Starvin' Marvin. Next, okay, Dave?
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna make fajitas with the same roast. So come back up here, Dave. Now, you can use onions, peppers, whatever you want in your fajitas. It doesn't matter. Garlic, whatever you want. Fajitas are pretty easy. You just kind of throw in whatever you want. But what you want to do is you want to get your oil heating up. So, oh, wait a minute. Let me go back to the roast first. That roast literally took me 5 minutes to make. Literally. You take the roast off, put it in the pan, pour in some water, put your baby carrots, put your potatoes. Usually I don't peel the potatoes, but they were getting green, so I peeled them this time. And slice up your oven, put it in foil, put it in the oven at 250, 200 to 250, just depending on how long you're going to be gone. If you're going to be gone from 8 to 5, I would do probably like 225. If you're going to be gone not quite so long, then 250. The thing is, everybody's into the Instant Pots. Everybody's into the crock pots. You guys can make this in the oven and it tastes so much better. So put this in the oven at 8 o'clock in the morning before you go to work. When you come home, you're gonna have a delicious dinner. I usually just throw in my potatoes and carrots and just do it all at the same time. If you want to come home an hour before dinner, you can throw your potatoes and carrots in. They're super soft. I like my vegetables super soft. But if you don't like them super soft, then just throw them in, turn up the heat to 350, finish it off, and you're good. It's super easy. Okay, any questions on the roast before I get on fajitas?
Well, somebody said onions, question mark, but yeah, we put the onions in. Did you have carrots in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I usually put the onions on top, then the flavor goes down into the meat.
So you made roast in the oven with potatoes and carrots.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, yum.
Yes.
Actually, it's super delicious, this roast.
Yes. Okay, so now I've got my oil heating, and I'm going to take, I don't have any fresh garlic, but I've got my onions and peppers. This was $1 at the store, and this is 4 servings right here. 4 servings for $1, okay? Sorry, did I scare you?
No, it's just loud.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
This is 4 meals for a family of 4, right?
Yeah. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to brown or saute, whatever you want to call it, my onions and peppers briefly. While I'm doing that, I'm going to cut up my meat. Normally, like I said, my meat is a little bit more done, but because I forgot to put it in and I didn't get it in till late, well, there it's kind of done. See how it just kind of shreds? That's how you really want your meat. That's when you know that it's really nice and tender and done. This is like the first time I've had to use a knife in years because I just
Didn't quite cook it enough.
didn't get done. Well, actually, it's pretty. I don't know. There's some spots that are done.
So one
The
question.
whole thing is cooked. It's just, yeah.
So Mike in Colorado is wondering, as far as how long, once you've cooked it enough, it can still go longer and be fine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because it has the moisture in there, that is good. Because it has the moisture in there, you're able to have it cook for longer periods and it doesn't dry out. And it's very, very moist. Okay, so the fajitas. So we have the leftover roast that we're saving from the day before. And then I'm gluten-free, so we usually use corn tortillas. You can warm these on the stove or in the microwave, however you want. But then to go with the fajitas, we're gonna throw together some Spanish rice, and I forgot to look up the page number, but I just make super easy 2-ingredient Spanish rice. So I take the rice, and then I pour in my salsa. Okay, and oh, I damaged my hand. Can you open that?
Yeah, Elizabeth says Instant Pot food always looks soggy.
Instant Pot food is always soggy. That's the problem I have with it. Yes.
Any more potatoes?
Yes, I do have more potatoes. Do you want more potatoes? Okay, yes.
That was really good, by the way.
That was really delicious. Okay, so I take and put in my salsa. And then, I'm out of seasoned salt. I need to make these. I should do that on the show while I'm on here. Make some of my seasoned salt. I'll do that in just a second. So since I'm out of my homemade seasoned salt, just a couple of spices here. Like that. Need just a moment. Here's potato. Here's potato. Thank you. There you go. And just a little bit of cumin because Mike likes extra cumin.
Yum. Oh, this is the. Oh, right. Okay.
Okay. Then, if if you have green chilies or something and you want to put in there, you can. You can add whatever extra you want. If you have onions, you can chop them and put them in there. I just do the salsa because all of that's already in there. And then you just bake this until it's warmed through, and then if you want cheese on top, you can put cheese.
So your fire brigade is asking if you have rolls in there still.
Yes, they are almost done.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so then here you go. Just warm this up. Okay, and then the rolls are already done. Now, if you want, you can make homemade biscuits, whatever, but for a quarter, my goodness, this is such a time saver, so why would I spend all that time doing that, okay? All right, so then what you're gonna do, you're gonna take your roast and you're gonna add it to your
Might want to cover it. That's very loud.
whatever you call it. Sorry. Now I like these true lime because then I don't have to always keep lime on hand. But this is the time of year when limes are cheap, so if you get them cheap, go ahead. And then just take your lime. So right here I have my lime juice. And pour that in. And then I have dried jalapenos, but you can use fresh. Okay, and I'm going to sprinkle in my dried jalapenos. And then I'm going to take, because I'm out of my seafood. Oops.
Mike's getting jump scared today.
Okay, my seasoned, my onion and garlic, and then salt. Yeah.
So you're not making the salsa today, is that right? Or are you?
Oh no, I was going to talk about that in just a second.
Okay.
Okay. And then you just warm it through. And it takes about 10 minutes for the rice to get all warmed through. And then you've got dinner in like 15 minutes with fresh fajitas. Let me just warm that up.
Man, it all smells so good.
Now, of course, if you have hearty eaters, you're gonna adjust this to whatever you want. You know, you're gonna adjust this to whatever. But you could serve this with the fajitas, with sour cream, cheese, more salsa, whatever you want. Here, you want to try a bite?
Sure.
Okay, see if it's here.
Ooh.
Oh, I forgot to test the jalapeno to see if I put enough in.
Actually, tastes really good, but it could use more.
You like it spicier?
Yes.
So then we've got fajitas with Spanish rice and clementines. So this meal right here is like $1 a plate. Again, not even a plate. $1 a plate? No, that would be like almost $1 for the whole meal. That's, wait a minute, let me think. About $1 a plate. A little bit, about 75 cents a plate, okay? So, for your fajitas, the Spanish rice, and all of that. Then, the next night, you're going to go and make French dip, okay? And to make French dip, what you want to do is you want to save all of this yummy broth, okay? So you're going to take all that yummy broth And then you're going to heat it up. And you're going to add your bouillon, your beef bouillon, your bouillon cubes, however you want to season your beef stock. So take that in. You can just use plain beef stock if you want, however you like it, okay? I usually just put in beef bouillon and then maybe a little onion powder, and that's it.
I keep sharing the link, but it's also in the description below, and it says how to plan ahead pot roast recipes. Those are the ones that we're making today. Except I didn't put the Spanish rice on there because I didn't realize that was part of it. Should add those back to the post later.
That's because I forgot. Okay, so just keep adding salt. I didn't have the bouillons in the refrigerator, so I didn't get that, but that's fine. This is actually pretty tasty. Okay, so then you're going to have your dip. And now I just used hamburger buns that I toasted, but you can use hoagie rolls or whatever you want. And then you're going to take your meat, which is it's actually more done than I thought it was. Okay, so we like to eat ours with onion. So we put an onion on first, and then we put the meat. Whoops, I thought I had it. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to serve this with your grapes and some broccoli, or if you want, you could have you could have canned peaches or canned applesauce or whatever you want. We usually keep our sides really, really simple because I don't like to take that long in the kitchen.
Yum. Oh, so you didn't do this one with cheese. I didn't take.
Oh, I forgot the cheese.
I prefer it without the cheese, to be honest.
And there you
it's
go.
really good that way. Oh, especially with the onion on it.
Yeah.
That makes it really good.
Then, for the last night...
My cook's longingly.
Poor Dad.
Are you hungry?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't, but then I started working on all this. I was just looking at pictures of the food earlier.
Feel better now? Okay. So then, for the next night, we're going to take the last little piece of roast, which would probably be about like this, maybe a little bit more. Probably a little bit more. And we're using it as flavoring, basically, is what we're doing, okay? And then we're going to take, and if we have leftover bouillon stock or beef stock, we're going to cut it up and put it in there. If you don't have any leftover, you can make some up with some bouillon cubes or just buy some beef stock if you want. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fill, oops, I didn't have, I needed another bowl. Okay, so we'll just pretend like this bowl is empty. And then what we do, because we're gluten-free, but you can use gluten-free noodles if you want, is boil the noodles, but I use rice. So I put a little bit of rice in here with the stock, and then let me get this all done. And then if you have leftover onions, you can put them in there if you want. Doesn't really matter. And then you can have beef and noodles, and then again, you can have grapes, broccoli, baby carrots, peaches, pears, applesauce, mixed vegetables, peas and carrots, a salad, anything you want to go with that. 4 nights worth of meals for $15 with one roast. So it's super, super easy. Now, if you have if you have hearty eaters, that's totally fine. But what I would do is, we get this question every single time I do a show like this. Well, my husband would never agree to that. Okay, that's fine. If he wants to work harder, to make more money, to spend more on meat,
To eat more money.
to eat more money, to eat his money, that is fine. I have no problem with that. But you could even add a $5 or $10 to this and you would still be cheaper than eating out. Even if you spent $25 on 4 meals because you have someone who just really wants a lot of meat. But here's the thing, guys. Fill them up on things like rice and bread and those kinds of things. And then add the meat, but don't let them eat the meat first. Well, I mean, I guess you can't really say don't let them eat the meat. But what I'm saying is serve it with more rice and vegetables and fruits and that kind of thing. Over the meat. We had one person say, well, this is just not possible. My family eats, I can't remember the ridiculous amount, but Heidi and I figured it out. And it was a half a pound of meat per person per meal. It was ridiculous. There is no reason each person needs a half a pound of meat for each meal. 3 to 4 ounces is a serving. If you have someone, if you have a husband or you're overweight and you just eat more, okay, that's fine. But realize because you're choosing to be overweight, you're going to be eating more food and it's going to be costing you more. You know, oh dear.
Just say it. Just go out with it.
Oh dear.
YOLO.
Okay, so I saw this, Ellie's like, no, mother, no. I saw this article about how this family is a middle-class family earning $50,000 a year and they can't afford groceries most of the time. Seriously? And she goes on to say how her husband can't afford his CPAP machine. And then another person that they had in the article couldn't afford their diabetes medicine. Guys, these are preventable diseases. If you're overweight and you have the diseases, it's because you are eating too much food, period. So you are making the choice to have these diseases and you are making the choice to spend more money on groceries, and that's fine. That's totally fine. I am talking about, just so my email doesn't get totally filled up, I'm talking about type 2 diabetes, not type 1. I'm talking about the preventable diabetes. CPAP machines, not everyone, but a majority of people who need CPAP machines are overweight.
Is that rice still in the oven?
Yes, it's done actually. So the thing is, if you have family members that are like that, fill the plate more with vegetables and fruit and not so much meat, okay? All right, so let me pull out then if you want, you can
Yum, Dave, can you see that?
add a little bit of cheese on top of that if you want to. So here, let me give it, well, Mike's already eaten one of the fajitas, but let me just scoop a little bit of this on here and you can see.
Oh, yum.
Oops, my thing broke. Okay, so then just ignore the broken tortilla, but there you go, okay? So that is how you do 4 meals with 1 roast in 15 minutes or less. I mean, each meal took like less than 15 minutes. Dining on a Dime cookbook, it's on sale right now along with everything in our store, including our menu and our to-do refrigerator notepads. 25% off everything. Use the coupon code VDAY for Valentine's Day. It ends Wednesday.
Oh, and just for everyone that actually only I think I confused a couple people, but yes, it's Wednesday, February 19th. I said Wednesday, February 17th, but today's the 17th. So it's the 19th.
Yes.
And
yeah. And so, I mean, yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how I make my seasoned salt since I'm totally out of it right now. And Mike,
oh, someone had asked earlier, is it garlic powder or garlic salt?
Powder.
Powder is what you used, right?
Yeah, I only buy onion and garlic powder. Mom buys both, but I only buy onion and garlic powder because I can always add salt, but you can't take salt out, so I always just buy the powder. Now to make my seasoned salt, which is also in Dining on a Dime cookbook right here, it's super simple. I just take my leftover shaker, pour in the full measurements. We have the recipe at livingonadime.com. Just type in seasoned salt. So I pour in my salt, then I pour in my onion powder, and then I pour in my garlic powder. And when I have pepper, I pour that in, but I'm out of pepper right now. I just put on my lid, make sure it's closed, and then I just shake it all up until it's mixed. And that's how quick and easy it is to make homemade seasoned salt for like 5 cents instead of the store stuff, which costs like $2.50.
Wow.
Yeah. 2 cents, 5 cents. I don't know. Just a couple of cents.
But we like to just, like, I like a lot of garlic. So if
I put more garlic in for...
So if we used garlic salt, we would just salt it like crazy to get the garlic in it.
Yeah.
This way we can just put a lot of garlic and a little bit of salt.
Yeah.
Even though the world needs more salt, people.
The world needs more
It
salt.
doesn't need that much salt. Jolene, every meal I've made from your website has been a real big winner in my house. Very simple and so much taste. It has saved us so much money as well.
See,
Yay,
that's
thank you, Jolene.
That's the thing, guys, is it doesn't have to be really complicated. I think people think when we say, this is the thing that I don't like, and I'm not bashing him, but this is the thing that I don't like about Dave Ramsey and other financial people who are like that. This is where we're different.
The one thing you don't like, right? Just kidding. Back
We will
at
go
you,
into
Dave.
that.
Just kidding.
The thing that I don't like is he says don't eat out, and I totally agree with that. But what he lacks, and this isn't his field of expertise, so I'm not expecting him. But what people hear is they hear don't eat out, but they don't understand how super easy it is to cook at home. All these 4 meals, I cook all 4 meals in less than 30 minutes all together. But these would literally take me 5 to 10 minutes to throw together, and then the baking time for the rice. But 5 to 10 minutes to throw together in the evening. This is how I'm able to cook for my family with chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. Make easy meals that the family actually loves. Here's the thing, guys. My family actually likes these recipes. They actually like them. Right now, we just finished testing our Dining on a Dime, more Dining on a Dime, the sequel. Now I'm testing gluten-free, dairy-free, and I'm feeding it to my family. And they're like, wow, this is gluten-free, dairy-free? I said, yeah. And this morning I made waffles for Jack. And he said, well, these are better than regular waffles. I was like, oh, man. But the thing is, I test these on my family, and if they eat them, then they go in the book. And they tell me...
It's been helpful that we're doing cookbooks,
Yeah.
because then I can say, so are you wanting an opinion for a recipe test, or is this just regular food? If she says, yeah, it was a disaster, I know. Because there was some bread in the fridge, and I made a piece yesterday, and I was thinking... But it was one that Tara didn't like, and I guess he just didn't want to waste it.
Well, I was going to see if I could save it with croutons, but that was the day I was having the bad day, and so I put it in there thinking, okay, maybe I can make it into croutons or something and save it, but it was pretty bad. So.
Wow. Check it out. We had, Kathy says, your Spanish rice is delicious and so easy to make. We loved it. And then Angie said, I got your cookbook a few weeks ago, made the chicken fried steak, and we loved it. It was so good.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite recipe.
And if you want to see what it looks like.
I really love it.
See. It is... Where is it? Where is the chicken fried steak? I just had it. Where'd it go? Well, that's weird. Anyway. Oh, here it is. It was on the next page.
Oh.
There's the chicken fried steak if you want to see it.
So Julie asked if we would run down what the meals were again.
Okay, so the meals were, they were roast the first night on page 244 with potatoes, carrots, and easy rolls. French dip the next night, right here. The dip I ended up using because I didn't have another bowl. Page 164 with grapes and broccoli. Fajitas the second night. There's usually at least 2 fajitas, but Mike just ate one. With clementines and Spanish rice, and then we've got onions and peppers in there. And then beef and noodles with peaches and broccoli. I used rice and noodles because I'm gluten-free, and I didn't have any gluten-free noodles. So, all that, and it was $15. It was $8 for the roast. It was just under 3 pounds, and it was $3 a pound.
I'm sharing the post again that has the recipes in it.
Yep. So.
Yes. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, Amy said you can also add things like lentils. That helps fill even grown men up for next to nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of things you can fill with.
And I'm not saying, people misunderstand this all the time. But I'm not saying give them 5 cups of rice. But put a little bit more rice in, or serve an extra dinner roll if they're big and they work a lot of hours or something. You know, that's fine. Just add extra, but just realize this is for a normal family. We're not construction workers. I have 3 guys that I'm feeding. So, yeah.
So do you cook and season lentils like you would dried beans?
I have never cooked lentils, so I couldn't tell you.
They're a lot smaller, so it would seem like it would be easier to cook them faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Guys, be glad I did the show today. I got a brand new knife, and I stabbed myself in the hand. I'm so glad it didn't go all the way through.
Yeah.
I was like, you gotta bandage this up. I can't bandage it. You need to make it tight because it won't stop bleeding.
Sorry, we had some others. Half-Hearted Homestead made me laugh.
Uh-oh.
Made your Italian cream cake last week. My 5-year-old lost her mind. Also a fan of your honey-baked chicken. Yes. Oh, the honey-baked chicken is so easy. That's one thing that Tara was saying. I would just say it again. Is people spend a lot of time trying to make really fancy, expensive recipes that they see on TV.
Yeah.
And most of the time, the families aren't that fond of those. And you can make normal recipes like this, and everybody likes them, and they're cheaper. Yeah. And easier, so.
Yeah, I'm not going to be doing a keto cookbook probably, or paleo or any of that kind of stuff. Right now, the cookbooks we have lined up is the sequel to Dining on a Dime is at 2 proofreaders right now. I should start getting them back on Monday with entries being entered in, and hopefully we can get that done. Then I have gluten-free, dairy-free Dining on a Dime that I'm working on right now, recipe testing. And if you guys want to see it, I don't know, you guys might find this interesting. So, this here is gluten-free, dairy-free. Now, this looks like, oh, it's huge. But what it is I printed out Dining on a Dime. And then I went through and tabbed all the recipes that I'm taking out that aren't gluten-free. And then I tabbed all the recipes that I have to test to change to gluten-free. And then I go in and I start pulling, and then like here, if I need to make substitutions or something like that, then I note it in there, and then I go into the file and I change it. So that cookbook is adapted from Dining on a Dime, the sequel, Dining on a Dime 2, which we haven't really decided on a name, but I think we're going to call it More Dining on a Dime. It is all new recipes. The gluten-free, dairy-free will have some of the same recipes as Dining on a Dime, because I was talking to my assistant and I'm like, I can't write a gluten-free, dairy-free cookbook. I said, like, I use Dining on a Dime. That's what I use to cook. And she's like, well, why don't you just adapt Dining on a Dime? So that's what I'm doing. And then we have a 20-minute cookbook coming, hopefully, maybe. And I'm debating on a freezer one. I don't really freezer cook like the traditional freezer people cook. I don't put meals in bags and spend all day Saturday cooking 30 meals for the month. I think that's ridiculous. But I didn't put any flavor on it.
Tastes fine.
Actually,
it really does taste fine.
And so I was thinking about possibly doing a freezer cookbook the way I do freezer cooking, but we'll see. I don't know.
Oh, I forgot. Somebody earlier asked this too, but Brenda's asking, what kind of roast did you use?
I don't know. I just get whatever's on sale.
She just looks for some sort of roast and whatever's on sale, so you don't really pay attention
It doesn't.
to whether it's chuck roast. Or
I never look at what kind of roast it is. I just get what's on sale, and I never pay more than $2.99 a pound. But here's the thing: if you slow cook it, it doesn't matter what kind of roast it is, because it will all turn out really good.
So Ruth says, here's my tip for the day: when you go to put leftovers in the oven to heat up, make sure you actually put them in the oven.
Oh yeah.
Ruth, I think Tara can totally relate.
I do that all the time.
Yeah. Wow, all this talk about lentils reminds me of the Palouse. We used to live in Idaho, and I drive through a prairie to the way to my work in Washington, where they grew lentils, and it was so gorgeous seeing rainbowy colors on all the hills.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jan, how about frozen broccoli added to rice dishes? Less expensive? I think probably so. We use, the thing about the frozen broccoli is some people don't want to use frozen, but it's actually fresher than fresh, really, because they freeze it right then.
I'll use frozen vegetables before I use fresh, like 85% of the time.
They taste better, too, generally. We'll use fresh broccoli for, eating raw, which we do regularly, too, but... Yes.
Yeah. So, and Barbara's right. She said we gain weight and it gets into our neck. Yeah, see, I have sleep apnea. I don't have a CPAP machine, but I have it. But I notice when my weight goes up, it gets worse. And I put on 10 pounds since Christmas. So I'm like, okay, I got to get this off again, because I wake up in the morning. So this is weird. You want to hear something weird?
What?
Okay. So don't talk. Where's your tongue in your mouth?
It's kind of up against the top and the back and in the front and kind of dipping down the middle.
So my tongue rests on the top of my mouth. Is that normal?
Mine does too.
Is your tongue supposed to rest on the top
Actually,
of your mouth?
I guess it is on the top of my mouth now that I think about it.
My entire tongue is touching.
Okay, so that's normal? Because I wake up every night with my tongue plastered back to my mouth.
Things
I
that
think
make
that's
Tara go,
So, yeah. Oh, man, guys, I thought we were going to have an announcement today. I was so excited.
What announcement is that? Or are you not going to say it because I have no idea what you're talking about? You're going to lead everybody on, then you're not going to say?
I was going to, but you haven't stopped talking so I could say it.
Okay.
Are you done?
No. Oh, actually, that's too big of a piece. No, that's fine.
I thought we had found a house. I was so excited. It had every single thing on our list. everything, even a hot tub, which is like a bonus deal for me. And even my cute white picket fence that I missed in Idaho or in Kansas. But we went to go look at it, and it wasn't in as good a shape as the pictures led it to be. I was so sad. But it was a lot more than what this house is, so we would have had to get another loan, and we really don't want to get another loan. So it was kind of one of those things where I really wanted it, but I didn't want to get another loan. So
yeah, I keep thinking, let's wait a couple more years till we get everything, till we save up for it. Sorry, I don't want to go back into debt again.
Well, I don't either, but you're the one working at the library. Well, I'm the one listening to the dogs barking all day long.
Well, is it worth $200,000 for you?
No.
That's why Mike
I'll
says
put
no.
up with it for 2 more summers.
It's like $200,000
Yeah.
more to get a substantially different house.
I was like, I am not spending $600,000 on this dump.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look back here and see what we have. Yeah, actually, seeing the prices of some of those makes me think it'd be cheaper just to build something, even though that would be expensive.
Love the new colored cookbook. Just a thought. Would it be possible to put the books in notebook form? I have no idea what that means. You mean like a 3-ring binder?
Well, that's what I was wondering.
Is that what you mean?
And I asked, it's Utter Chaos Hobby Farm, but I don't see... Oh, yes. Yes. They say yes.
Okay, so that's hilarious because I just talked to the printer today about that. We're getting a new printer. Well, yeah, we're in the process of finding a new printer. And the problem with that is there was a problem with that, and I can't remember what it was. There was a problem with that. Yes. Yes, you may. You can take it. It's probably cold enough. I was thinking about doing it in just a plain hardback that lays flat. So he's sending me and not doing the spiral at all. I don't know. We're having major printing issues with this book because it's 608 pages. The other option would be to have the 20th anniversary go out of print and cut that 50 or 60 pages. I still don't think that's enough though. And then possibly cut the tip index and the leftover index if we needed to. But I don't know. Yeah. So we're having a major issue because printing, this is really, yeah.
It's funny because...
Really big cookbook.
Well, there's some house discussion now. Lori, modular home may be on land. Probably not modular, but we were thinking about doing...
Why not?
Well,
We have some nice modulars now.
Not
mobile home.
You mean modular like that one up in
Yeah.
Estes Park on Riverside? Yeah. We also thought about. Okay, so I was
Building.
wrong. I take it back. But we also thought about a Castile building because there's a children's home that we've been to a number of times in the area, and they have a small kind of warehouse building as a gym.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, wow, this looks like it would make a good house.
Yeah.
And then could be divided to have a warehouse for book shipping and storage on the other side.
See, if we could get something that's like 10 or 15,000 square feet, then we could have 3,000 square feet be the house on the front end, and then 5 to 7,000 square feet be our shipping and warehouse. Because we have a problem. All these new books we're coming out with, our garage, we can only hold one book at a time. So we don't know where we're going to put the rest of the books. I don't know. I assume the storage sheds in town are all filled up because we live in a tiny town that has nothing. But I might be able to get a storage shed here in town, possibly. They just built some. But because we live in a town that has no We have no restaurants, no grocery store, no gas station. We have nothing in our town. Literally nothing. It's just houses. It's a sleeping community with schools, a Catholic church, and a Protestant church at the school, and that's it. So to have to go, that's part of the reason why I'm still looking at houses, because I don't know where we're going to put these books. I guess we could go ahead and put up the greenhouse that the HOA already approved, and
we're just keeping our books warm. Or
yeah, not tell them. Well, and that's another problem. We can't really let them freeze either, because the laminate. So like our garage stays warm enough that it's okay, but if we were to have a shed, I don't know if that would work. So we're kind of in a pickle for expanding. I don't know.
So Judy says, no, don't let it go out of print. She's meaning just the...
no.
For the 20th anniversary edition, we added like family pictures and a story and stuff like that about the 20 years of doing it. And we were talking about maybe rolling that part back, but keeping everything else.
Yeah. But see, really, that's not hardly, that's 28 pages.
Well, but before we expanded it, we didn't have any problem for like 6 printings.
Yeah, but that's because it wasn't color and hardcover.
Okay.
So the color and hardcover is where we're having
Could
the
it be
issue.
color in the same kind of cover we used to have? If it worked
Yeah,
before.
but people like the hardcover.
Oh, okay.
But the problem is, now there is another solution. We could have 2 editions. We could just keep this one for the people who want the spiral, and then either have a hardcover or a soft cover that we sell also for people who don't care. So I don't know, but yeah. Okay, so while Mike's getting a few questions here, we had a giveaway for international people, and only one person got back to me, and I put notice after notice everywhere I could put for the second person to get back to me, and she never did. So we are doing a giveaway for my planner. I know it's a little late now, I'm so sorry, but with my father passing and everything, we didn't plan on that show, and so we got behind, and then the gal hasn't gotten back to me. It's been 10 days and she hasn't gotten back to me. So if you are international on here right now, YouTube, we're going to do a drawing on YouTube for international people only. So if you would like to be entered into the drawing for my planner on YouTube right now, name your country and I will do a drawing international only. Name your country where you're at and you'll be entered in, and I'll give you just a couple of minutes to do that while Mike's got other questions.
Oh, I don't know if there are questions. I was just, well, Cherry said, what about a mini barn?
Yeah.
We thought about that.
We don't have the space though.
Not here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of what we were thinking on another property.
Now the other option is we could maybe put them at Grandma's.
She has a lot of space.
My grandma's got the building we actually
Maybe we could
need.
actually rent it from her. Like,
and
in
since
the
Grandpa died, we could maybe rent it. Yeah, I know. So the problem is our book is just so comprehensive. Now the other option is to also make it a little bit bigger, make it 8 by 10 instead, and then it would be about 525 pages instead of 600. I don't know. So we'll see, but yeah.
Let's see. And that's YouTube only, you said?
YouTube only, because most of the people are on YouTube. So if you're on Facebook, I'm giving you a chance to go over to YouTube, Living on a Dime, find our live show, and you can comment over there.
Okay. So we're doing it right now.
Yeah. So that broccoli is actually really good. That was frozen broccoli that I just heated up. It's actually really good with nothing on it, isn't it? Oh,
Susan
lots
says
of people.
international like Canada?
Yes.
Yeah, anywhere outside the United States.
Any place but the United States. So if you live anywhere but the United States and you want to win my 2020 planner, go ahead and put your country.
Ooh, Sophia's in Guatemala. Wow.
Ooh, Caroline's in Wales.
Wow.
Tony's in the UK.
Wow. Wales
Canada.
is beautiful.
Now, is the UK considered a country? Actually,
Yes.
is the UK considered a country, or is it the individual countries a country?
Depends on who you ask. Well, I think the individual ones are countries, but
what's the UK then?
well, from a standpoint of diplomatic things, I think the UK then kind of is the.
Kind of like the United States and our states.
Yeah, except that the others were actually countries, and they still have some independence.
Oh, that's true. They have more.
I think there's a certain amount of independence.
Now they're really independent in some places. Sorry. Sorry. I don't know how. I wonder how that's going. Did that go over very well? I never
heard anything. So.
Well, you guys let us know if you're over there. How's that going? Between Ireland and all that stuff. Okay. Do we got any people on here?
We should check on Ireland.
All right. Here we go. Go ahead. I'm gonna pick a winner. Find.
Oh wait. Do you want to wait just a minute?
Why?
Because there aren't a huge number. Well, I guess we don't have to be in a huge number. Okay.
Okay. Scroll. Stop. Who are we on? Joan McGregor in Canada.
Woohoo!
You go, girl. Okay. Listen. Email me your name and address. I need your address to mail it. It's amazing how many giveaways I give and people don't give me their address. I need your name and address, Joan McGregor in Canada, editor at livingonadime.com, and I will get it mailed out to you as soon as I get that. Okay. Let's see. Karen, I sent you an email. Okay. Anyway. I didn't see what Karen said about her email, but I can look through later. All right, any other questions?
Yes, we did get the email. Yeah, Tara already said that.
Yes, I got your email and I sent a reply.
Diana, why don't you see if Grandma will trade houses with you? We wouldn't do that to Grandma.
Yeah, Grandma wants to stay where she's at.
Actually, her house is actually not bigger. It just has a lot more storage places. It has like as far as our books.
Oh, for the books?
Well,
yeah.
there's like a 6-car garage in the backyard and a 2-car garage next to it. So that's a lot more.
For books,
storage.
There would be a lot more storage.
Well, that's the thing you were talking about. So.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
How often do you shop?
How often do I shop? Every 2 weeks or a month. And then if I need something here or there and Mike happens to be at the store, I'll have him pick it up. Okay, who was asking the name? The lady that didn't get back to me was... Who was the lady?
I don't know.
Dave? Run and get my little Post-it note over there by my chair, please. The little orange, the yellow one. Well, then I'll give them both one. But,
okay. Angie, yes, our town does have an ordinance about barking dogs, but they don't enforce it. They want you to enforce it, and it kind of was causing a big life and death kind of catastrophe with neighbors.
I turned our neighbors in because it wouldn't stop. It was Leslie Sterrett in Scotland was the winner. So if you're on here right now, Leslie, let me know because I tried getting a hold of you and I couldn't get a hold of you. And so I finally had to report my neighbors, and after years of listening to this, and they got cited, and the neighbors two different neighbors showed up at my door threatening to kill us and burn down our house. So needless to say,
pretty ugly over.
I've had it with dogs.
But now some neighbors that have been really friendly to us, their dog was barking 2 hours straight today, right by our bedroom.
Oh, I need to go put more batteries in the dog barking thing.
So unfortunately, the way I think some places do enforce that, but here pretty much the town police want you to enforce that yourself. Basically, they want you to do everything, and then they'll agree to let you take it to court or something like that, which we don't really.
So somebody said, are my portions correct with dietary info? Yes, they are. I mean, you've got a fruit, you've got vegetable, you got your meat, and you've got your bread. So, yeah. And another tip, guys, serve fat with your meals, and that will help fill people up too. So, like if you're serving roast with noodles and rice, I would put a little bit of butter in here, and that helps you stay full longer. Or I would use avocado oil is what I use to fry my onions and peppers and my fajita stuff. Now this one has more starch than normal, but during the day we just swap it up and I'll have a big salad at lunch or something. So.
Okay, cool. So I was wondering if we should read that one.
Tara, how do you keep everything organized? Life, family, and business. Go ahead, dear. Answer that.
I said she doesn't.
I don't.
Is that what I said? Let's see. I said she's still trying to figure out that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. That's why I miss half the things and that kind of thing. Julie, we do have a sonic dog barking thing, but when the batteries die, the dogs start again, and so I think that's what's happened is the battery.
Well, and the issue, the neighbors whose dogs were barking when the issue started, they've kind of really
They've
really kind of cracked down, and their dog's not really doing it anymore. Now it's other people's dogs. But we're just thinking, unfortunately, in our part of Colorado, I hate to say this because people are going to jump all over me, but I think
people are obsessed with
people
dogs.
are almost obsessed on a religious scale with dogs.
It's ridiculous. They take them to the grocery store. It's nasty.
So the problem with that is they're everywhere, and about probably 80% of the people around here want to have the dogs so they can be seen as validated as humans, but they don't really want to take care of them, so they leave them out barking all day while they're in Denver working.
And I had the lady who showed up at my door,
which is Denver's 40 miles from here. So.
Yeah, the lady that showed up at my door, she actually she had 2 big huskies that were barking for 12 hours at a time, and she said, "Well, what am I supposed to do with my dogs while I'm at work?" That's not my responsibility, but that's the attitude of people here, and they don't just have 1 dog. They have 4 dogs, or they're breeding dogs. It's absolutely ridiculous. We have 6 houses behind us, and there's 14 dogs. When the one house is breeding, there'll be 20 dogs.
And they're not. That's also not really something you should.
You're
be
not
doing
allowed
here.
to do
and
it.
We don't care if they're breeding dogs. What we do
It's
care
the
is
barking.
if they're barking a lot. So there are other things. There are things that neighbors do that technically they're not supposed to do, but it's not bothering us, so we don't complain about it. But
I can't even go out into my garden in the summer because all I hear is barking dogs. And I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous here. But yeah. I don't know. Anyway, that's
Do we have a recipe for cauliflower crust?
No, I don't.
Did you try one a couple of years ago? I thought you did.
No, not yet.
I just tried some of that. I know I tried something with riced cauliflower the other day, and I thought, oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
And I realized, I was thinking, why would you do that instead of just rice? But then I realized that I guess the cauliflower has 25 calories per cup and the rice has 200. Yeah. So I thought,
Yeah.
Although it's funny because I saw some fairly complicated recipes for making it, and I was thinking, wouldn't you just chop it up?
Yeah. Jennifer says if you move here, you have to own at least 1 dog. It's Colorado. I know. What's the problem? I used to not be anti-dog until I moved to Colorado. But when I was shopping for towels at Walmart and there was dog hair all over the towels, I was ticked. And then they put their nasty dogs in the cart with their poopy butts all over the cart where I put my food. Makes me so mad.
Actually, I was surprised a couple of years ago. I think I was with Ellie in a restaurant. We don't go to restaurants very often, but she and I went to lunch that day, and people in the restaurant had their dog under the table.
It's not okay.
I thought that was illegal.
Yeah.
Because of health department stuff, but apparently...
Well, and I complained, and they said, all we can do is just ask if it's a service dog, and if they say yes, then there's nothing we can do. Yeah, you can. You own the store. Get their booties out.
And Jennifer's right. She says not the dogs, it's the owners. It's true.
Yeah, it's the owners.
Somebody else said something about their dog only barks once to come in. And yeah, ours used to do that, although we put a dog door now, so he doesn't bark at all. But I think mostly the problem isn't really people with dogs in general. It's just a lot of people feel like in Colorado, there's really this sense of keeping up with the neighbors on showing how successful you are. And one thing that people feel like if they don't have 2 dogs, and usually they have to be like big scary dogs, like pit bulls are really popular here.
Yeah.
Or what are the police dogs they used to have? German Shepherds, that kind of thing. And if you don't, a lot of people feel like they're just not important enough. So,
or Chihuahuas.
Yeah.
And so...
on the opposite side.
But unfortunately, there's a certain group of people that take care of them fine, but there are others that have them just as a sort of a badge, and then they just leave them out and don't take care of them.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
And this whole emotional support dog thing, I'm sorry, if you can't handle it, then you need to order your groceries online. Because there's no reason for dogs to be in the grocery carts. That's gross.
Well, also, I'm
sorry.
I don't remember if you were with me, but
I'm not talking service dogs. Legitimate service dogs, I have no problem with.
Like for
because
blind
those
people,
dogs
that would
walk
make sense.
along the person. There was a dog fight at Walmart the other day.
Actually, there was a dog fight
It was ridiculous.
I was in Home Depot. Was it this last Christmas or the Christmas before? I was in Home Depot here in Firestone, Colorado, and they had all the Christmas decorations and everything, and there were all these people standing really close together by the Christmas decorations, and a bunch of kids and everything else, and there was one lady with 2 dogs and another lady with 1 dog, and all 3 dogs started fighting right in the midst of all these people. And I was thinking, man, this is a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yeah, the same thing happened at Walmart the other day. There's 2
I thought
little dogs.
if one of those dogs bites anyone, or if one of those kids gets seriously injured, that's going to be like
Well, and
huge
Bargainaholic
lawsuit.
says Phoenix has lots of dogs in buildings they die. No, you take them home. There's absolutely no reason for you to take a dog to a store, period. If you take the dog to the vet, you take the dog home, and then you go back to the store. But there's no reason for the dog to even be in the car with you if you're going to the grocery store and can't leave them in the car. That's just common sense. You wouldn't,
I think people don't think, I'm going somewhere, it's going to be hot outside today, so Lucky can stay at home.
Yeah.
Because we don't bring our dog with us on hot days.
Yeah.
When he would have to leave him in the car or take him in. So
that's just, you just don't.
So that's kind of why
sense
on the
is
house
gone.
thing we were kind of looking for something with enough land to be.
Yeah.
So if somebody did have a dog nearby and they left him out, it would be less of an issue. For
Although,
us,
unfortunately, the house that I looked at on Saturday,
Had the
I
same-
thought the neighbors were further than they were. The first thing we get out of the car, it's like, oh. So that knocked the house
Sorry,
right off
agent, see you
there. But
later.
yeah, that's why before I go with the agent to look, I always drive out myself and I listen, because we ended up by a crop duster airport one time. Oh my word, between April and October, every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, the crop duster airport plane would start going off, and he would buzz every 15 minutes. He'd go, come back, fill up, go, come back, fill up, go, come back. He did that all morning long until like 10:30 when the wind started. Then he died down, and he did all evening until the sun totally went black. Oh my goodness. So now we'd look at a satellite. We've lived next to a crop duster airport. We've lived next to a cement plant. We've lived next
We
to
didn't move next to the cement plant. They just illegally moved onto
Yeah.
property next to us.
14 railroad tracks was 2 of the houses that were actually really close to each other. And now we've got barking dogs. So to say I'm a little paranoid about moving with noise, yeah, I'm a little paranoid. I've got issues, but no comment.
So now you know what's on Tara's mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So let's see. Let's see. Is there anything else that we didn't see? Yeah, Spinner. I live on 15 acres and here my neighbor's dog. Yeah. Well, it was less of a problem when we lived in Kansas on a couple acres, because there was a neighbor whose dog barked a lot and she was fairly close to us, but she was the only one.
Yeah.
And that was a little easier, but
Yeah.
anyway. Oh, let's see.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't mind also, like, if somebody has a dog and we knock on their door and the dog barks, that's kind of normal.
That's totally fine.
That's totally normal.
I mean, but it's when you go to work and you leave them out all day, or you go somewhere and you leave them out all day, that's where the problem is.
Yeah, Anna says they treat them like humans. I think that's the thing is kind of, I know dogs they're awesome in the right context, but yeah, they're not people.
Jamie says her barking dogs are more annoying than my barking dogs, and I would have to agree. Oh my goodness. Poor Jamie. I'm thinking I'd have a meatball with something in it. Okay, I didn't say that.
Yeah,
Nice. A nice little sleep, doggy, for a little while. Let's just have a little cozy nap.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Half a Benadryl, put him out for a couple of hours.
You said you weren't going to say it. You're still saying it.
I have not done that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not
Yeah.
suggesting do that.
Lori, oh wow, we're gonna get into a crazy show. Let's not forget the terminal lawnmowers. My neighbor mows invisible grass. We actually have a neighbor, not gonna say who or where, but we have a neighbor within hearing distance that vacuums her car for like 5 hours a day in the summer.
It's insane.
We can hear
2
her
hours power
shop
washing the
vac.
garage.
We can hear the shop vac from like a block away almost. And I think, man, you must be deaf unless you're wearing hearing protection.
We decided we need
'Cause that
20
poor-
acres and put the house in the center.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well,
I
that
have-
was kind of a weird ending.
I have post-traumatic dog syndrome. I don't know.
That's why I say let's go
Yeah.
live in Sweden.
So that's why Dave wants to go to Sweden. Dave has this thing about wanting to move to Sweden now. He really wants to go to Sweden.
Yep.
Move or visit? I thought you were going to just hang out for a couple months.
Like stay
He wants to go to northern Sweden in the wintertime.
in the winter.
And
Well, or
actually,
all the time.
he did a nice job with snowshoeing the other day, so...
Yeah,
Yeah.
until Dad tells me he almost fell off a cliff.
No, that was because that one cliff section was just dangerous.
Oh, well, I just...
Oh,
just-
yeah!
That's
I
just
told her about-
one cliff section. There aren't cliffs and stuff.
One
So there's
cliff
this
section
place
is
on the trail where the
dangerous.
trail kind of goes up like this and goes around and then there's like a few feet, like 4 or 5 feet over, there's like a straight down cliff, and it's really cool to see that in the summer because it's like a slice in the mountain that's really pretty down there. But Dave and I were coming down the trail talking about, oh yeah, here's that spot with that place, and Dave's like, do you want to go over there? And all of a sudden he started tripping on his snowshoes.
Oh,
and,
that's fine.
and I
Yeah,
thought,
yeah.
and then he caught himself, and I was like, dude, maybe we shouldn't go over close to the edge.
Yeah.
We did have a good time though, even though
Do
it was
you know
very, very
Jesus?
cold.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, he said Dave
Aw.
is insane. Dave is awesome.
Everybody say how awesome you are.
Northern Sweden. Yeah. Well, actually, the thing is, it's funny because when we went to Norway, shout out to you, Turid. When we went to Norway, it was really, really nice, and I realized that I'm sure that it's dark there, and I'm sure it's cold, but I realized, wow, we've lived in cold places, and I think it would be, I don't know if I'd want to live in that part of remote Sweden, but it would be fun to be there for a little while.
Esther says her sister was going to China next month, but now she's going to Ireland.
Hey, I would say
You know-
Ireland's awesome.
I'm sorry if
I love
anybody's
Ireland.
watching us over there. I have never had any desire to visit any place in Asia. That just, I don't know, bugs.
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
was thinking,
I have no desire to go there.
there's a lot of Southeast Asia that I didn't used to know was so nice, and now I think, man, it would be kind of fun to visit that. So Ellie and I would have to
Yeah.
go without you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So, all right, guys, don't forget 25% off everything in our store, including our, well, I just really messed it up with roast juice, but our notepad, refrigerator planners, our to-do notepads, Dining on a Dime cookbook, 25% off, our aprons, everything is 25% off till Wednesday. Please go check it out. Also, Ellie has a fresh supply of soap that arrived today and a couple of new flavors, I think, 1 or 2 new flavors, and her goat milk cream. Don't forget to check goatmilkgifts.com. Ugh. And her soap nets. Guys, these soap nets are great. They exfoliate, they dry your soap, and you can use all the little bits and pieces of soap, so none of it goes to waste. That's what I use mine for. She's got a big bar in here, but I put all my little bits and pieces in there, and I use it every night. That's why I'm so exfoliated.
I'm sorry, did you say is her stuff still marked off?
It's not on sale still, but she just got a fresh supply of new fragrances.
Oh, yay.
So that's why I'm so exfoliated all the time, because I use my soap net. Yes.
I think I had it in the description.
That's why I glow. And don't forget, guys, our podcasts at livingonadime.com. Check them out. We're debating if we're going to keep them or not. We don't know if they're popular enough. So we're debating on our Nancy, Ellie?
Actually,
Did you get the new soap listed? Oh, she doesn't have it listed yet. Okay, people are looking.
Actually, a couple people saying Asia's beautiful. It's funny because somebody mentioned Japan, and I was thinking, yeah, I'd kind of like to see Japan someday. Although I'm still a lot of places in Europe, in Australia and New Zealand, and man, I've got a long list.
I'm gonna sit at home. Actually, I'd like to go to New Zealand, and I'd like to go to Australia to see Amy T. Although from what I hear, it's not looking too pretty over there anymore. So I don't know. Apparently,
Well,
Ellie doesn't have the new ones listed yet. She's working on that right now.
You
So
mean because of the fire?
yes. So yes, we have a podcast, livingonadime.com. Go to the top and you can click on the podcast.
Oh, let me find the link for that here.
We will be back on Wednesday. Mike's putting the links for the podcast in right now. And there you go. Everybody says
Yay.
they're loving the podcasts. I don't know.
We were just, I was wondering if there's been so much going on, a lot of people haven't found out about it yet. So if you haven't, go see it now. I think in the newsletter we sent out a thing about what the topic was today and what the ones coming, or the one from Friday and the one from tomorrow. Because Friday was how much should groceries cost?
How much should groceries cost? Do
Tomorrow
you know?
Tomorrow was the how to get out of debt. The cool thing with the podcast, if you don't know, is you can put it on a phone or any kind of mobile device and take it with you, or you can watch it on a computer. It's really flexible in how you use it. So if you're a person who struggles to make the live show when it's live, it's something you can take with you and you don't have to stay at home.
Yep.
So
All right, livingonadime.com. We'll see you guys on Wednesday.
bye.
No idea what I'm making yet.
Maybe Mike should make something.
We'll
Bye.
see.